Hey guys, I'm back and today I thought I would just do some loosening exercise and hopefully you guys will join along with me. I'm just going to do a little mixed media thing and I don't really have much of a plan. This is just to loosen up and this is going to be, I'm just going to start a mixed media journal in a binder that I found at the thrift store. And this is it. And this is just a Good Things binder from Martha Stewart Living, and I just thought it would make a good like art journal. So I'm just taking like all of these pages are kind of like they have a waxy or glossy coat to them, and they're kind of thick. So what I will do with all of these, and don't mind my nails, they're not dirt, they're actually paint because I've been playing around. So anyway, I would gesso these sheets before I start doing anything, and that's with this acrylic gesso, and you can get any brand you want. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. And this one is $14.99, but I had a 40% off coupon, I think, that I got this from Hobby Lobby. Um, so that's what I'm going to do. So I have already taken a page out and gessoed both sides, so you can actually still see a little bit of what's underneath, which is fine. The gesso just, takes that shininess off and prepares the page to take whatever medium you put on it, help it from buckling. It does buckle a little bit when you get it wet when I put the gesso on, but that is fine. It feels really nice. It feels nice and soft now and pliable. So the first thing I'm going to do is just slap some paint on here. And I've just grabbed like random things and random colors, and I've got some just craft paint, folk art craft paint. I've got some stencil decor, stencil gel, something I found from the thrift store as well. I like found a whole box of the stencil set with all of these paints that were never even used and still had the plastic on them, and couldn't pass that up. I've got, my spackling that I got from the Dollar Tree to use as, what do you call it, like texturing paste. Just different stamping, like household stamping tools. I have like pieces of torn paper bag that I've just crinkled up. I wet it, crinkled it up, and just tore it into little pieces, and I've already put gesso on these, and then I cut a little heart out of one and just gessoed it, tore it out, and gessoed it as well. So we'll see what we do with that. And then I've got my little wooden stamp set that I just got. I think it was on one of my recent thrift hauls that I have in my playlist. So first thing I'm going to do is just put some paint down, and I'm just going to we'll choose kind of light colors here for the background. So this is, oops, that's quite a bit, but that's okay. This one is Calypso Sky, and I think I want to do another like soft color. So this one is Light Amethyst from Plaid, which you can just get a similar color from if you don't have these. I should have put more, I don't know. I like this lavender color. We'll just see what we come up with here. And I'm just going to take an old gift card and just spread it around. And we'll see what it looks like. And then I have a piece of parchment paper underneath this so that we can just not worry about making a mess. And I can just spread it around the page and make sure I get all the edges. You don't even have to like cover the whole page if you don't want to. I mean, you can just do the center or the edges, whatever. And now you don't really see the image underneath as much. So we're just having fun, and we're just seeing how colors work together. And I'm liking that. So now the purple and the blue aren't like mixed, totally mixed together. There's like just some spots of lavender here and there. And I'm going to remove some of the excess, because I don't want to wait too long for this to dry. So there's our background, and I'm going to get something to clean my card off with. We'll just get a baby wipe. To clean off my card. So I think what we'll do now, we'll just have to wait for this to dry, and I'll come back after this is dry and we'll figure out what else to do with it. Okay, so this is what we have so far. It's only been a couple minutes. Took my heat gun and dried it. I actually scraped off even more of the excess paint, and it leaves behind a nice little texture. And so I've decided that I'm going to try to add some texture to this, some more texture. I have this stencil, and it looks like brick, I guess. So I'm just gonna stencil some brick on here. I'm gonna try this out with some of this lightweight spackling, if I can get it open, and take my, so I have to put a really thin layer of this on here. So this spackling is like, it reminds me of a paste or something made from, I don't know why, it reminds me of baking soda for some reason, but, and I'm not going to like cover this whole thing. We'll just like do some areas, like some little patches of brick here and there, because I have kind of an idea in mind of what I want to do. So just get rid of some of that excess. So I'm not getting like each brick like a perfectly filled brick. I just want partial brick here. Just trying to get this as thin as I can, but covered as much as I can. So I have to keep this spatula pretty flat. It's not a spatula, it's a palette knife. I have another one that's not flat, it's like angled, which would be probably work a little better, but I don't know where that is. So there's just a patch of brick here. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're not doing this to be a perfect page. We're just playing around. We're journaling. This for me is just to loosen up and to just, you know, play around, and in the meantime you're learning at the same time, and you're figuring out what works and what doesn't. So if this doesn't turn out like perfect, don't fret, because you're learning. Alright, so I'm still got some choppy areas here. I'm not the greatest at this. Well, as you can tell, I just like, the stencil needs to be need to make sure this is like perfectly flat to get it. I'm about to just, there. This is, I'm like working it too much now because it's just, no. I just want to make sure that there's not like some really thick areas and too thin areas. I can still see color underneath, but I'm not going to stress with this too much, so I was trying to get everything as smooth as I can, which, like I said, it would probably work better with my angled. Alright, I quit. Alright, so there's that. Not perfect stencil, but it looks neat. And let's do like another little one, another little area on the other side here. And maybe we'll just put it, try to keep this flat. I didn't store this in a good place. It's not stored in a flat spot or laying down. It was in a basket, so that's why it's all wobbly. And we'll just do that because I'm not going to mess with it too much. And just scrape that off. So far looking good. Got some interest, got some texture. I think that, let me wipe this off while we're waiting for this to dry. We'll do something else. Let me clean off my stencil real quick. And I hope you guys like these real-time videos. I think the only parts that I will cut out is when we're waiting for paint to dry or this spackling to dry. Just hopefully you guys go along, you know, play along with me, journal with me, and you don't have to have, like I said, these colors or these sorts of paints or even these stencils. Just do what I do. Follow along. Pick out a couple colors, slap it on with the card, find you a stencil, and stencil some, you know, use some texture paste, whatever you have. Make your own texture paste. I know I've never done that, but I'm sure there are plenty of videos out there that you can make your own texture paste if you don't have any. And or find this lightweight spackle from the Dollar Tree. And I'm thinking that I want some more lavender in here, or do I want to, you know what I think I'll do? I've got this. We'll just see what this does. So I have a set of just cheap, this is Artist Loft, so this is like just a cheap brand of oil pastel. And and this is water soluble oil pastel, and this is just, it doesn't have the color on it, it's just a brownish color. So I'm just gonna, I think I'll just play around, and I'm just gonna put some of this, I'm just gonna slap some of this on the edges. And then we'll just take a brush and just water it down, see what it does. Because I want to darken the edges of this while we're waiting for the spackle to dry. And this actually on the container says it's paintable within 20 to 30 minutes. So we've got a ways to go here. I want to wait for sure. I want to be patient and make sure it dry. I won't make you guys wait that long. But while I'm waiting for this, we'll see what this does. So I want to add some water. I just have a flat brush here. I think, so this is a wash brush. I think this is just a watercolor or just a synthetic flat, I want to say 1 inch maybe. And I'm just going to wet my brush. And we'll just add some water to this and see. I'm going to just tap the excess off of my brush, and then we'll see what this does. And that's pretty neat. And I think I need to take something too, maybe just my finger. Maybe not. Maybe just this baby wipe. What could I use? Let's have something to blend this in better. I don't know. I can't find anything at the moment, so I'm just gonna not worry about it. I'm not sure. Some sort of brown. I'm not sure what color. So I'll just rinse my brush off and dry off the excess again, and let's just go around the edge and try to blend that out a little bit. And that's okay. I think I'm alright with that. And then let's go up here. And then on this side, rinse my brush out again. Dry the excess off and go on the edge again. So this gives it just an aged look, I guess. I'm also thinking that I want to soften the background a little bit more, and I'm going to take my gesso, if I can get it open there. So I'm just going to take my gesso, this lid's kind of stuck, and just use some watered down gesso and just go over this lightly just to knock the background back a little bit. And I'm actually going over this wet brown part as well that we just did. Just being careful not to touch the spackling. So I'm just going around this just in crisscross motions. I mean, we're not trying to do everything perfectly smooth and perfect. Just playing around and seeing what works and what doesn't work. And I'm going to wet my brush again. Get some of the excess water off and go around the edge to soften that. Soften the gesso. So that knocks it back a little bit. And I need to do a little on this side. So relax and just have fun with it. Clean off my brush again and we'll smooth this side and this side's a little darker, which is fine. I think it is a little darker. Clean off the excess water. Smooth it inward. And I think that's all we can do for now, because now everything's pretty much wet. And we'll just come back later, see what this looks like. I'll wait like 30 minutes and I'll be back. Okay, so it's been a little bit, 30-40 minutes, and my spackling feels pretty dry. It's pretty hard and on there pretty well. So I think what I'm going to do is, so I can get these bricks to stand out, I've got some Memories sepia acid-free dye ink that I got from one of my thrift hauls. I think I show you that, and if you want to look in the description, there should be a playlist of my thrift hauls and drawing and whatever else I've got. I can't journaling, journal making. I can't remember. I've only got like 3, 4 maybe playlist. So anyways, what I'm gonna do is just take my makeup sponge, a makeup wedge, and we'll just see how that works if I use this dye to, let me try this end, the flat end. And just spread it on here. And there's some little crumblies coming off of the spackling paste where it wasn't quite even, and that's okay. I'm not quite sure that I like this. It's looking okay, but I think maybe I should try some paint. So let's do that. So I've got some, this one is Russet, and I think I'll just put it on my parchment paper. This is a nice brown color. It's kind of close to that sepia. I may have to get a darker color. So I'm going to just wet my brush. Maybe I'll use this smaller brush, a smaller round brush. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Let's just try the bigger brush, because we're not trying to be precise detail here. Let's do the bigger flat brush. I'm just wetting it, and I'm just kind of watering down this paint a little bit. And I'll just lightly go across this. And let me get a little bit more water. And then while that is still wet, I'm going to take a damp, just slightly damp baby wipe and wipe that off there. That's not looking too bad. I think I'll add a different color as well, just to add some dimension to that. So let me just do the same thing. So on this side, and just watering that down. We're just getting it a little thinned out. And I'm just going to brush it right across the stencil, the spackling. Wet this a little bit more. Go across there. We're not being too careful with it. Just run it across there and really quickly just dabbing it with just a slightly damp baby wipe. That's not bad. Makes it stand out. I think I want a darker brown though. Or do I want, yeah, let's get, this is, what is this? This one, okay, that's a black. That's probably too dark. This is the, yeah, this one is darker. This one is the pastel that we just used around the edges. So I think I'm going to try to just run that across here. Oh, I'm liking that. So this is the water-soluble pastel. Just holding it on its side a little bit and just touching and just rubbing a little bit, not covering each brick but or everything totally, but just doing like the bottom edge just to get it to stand out a little bit more. And then we'll do the same thing on this side, because this is still kind of damp. And it's starting to crumble off a little bit because this one wasn't so smooth. Yep. Have to be a little careful with this. I don't push down so hard on it as I've gotten it wet and it seems to be crumbling, which is not a good thing. Let's see, a little bit here. And why? Why do you crumble on me? Learning process. Make sure that your stencils are stored flat and you put a more even base. So there's all the crumbles on that. And I think I'll just go in and tap that down. This side turned out a little better, but if you could tell when you were with me when I put this on, I was a lot quicker with it and didn't worry about it so much. I'm just going to go around this edge and smooth the brown off of that edge. And I'm not going to touch that again because it's crumbling. Once it's really dry, super dry, I just wish I could add a little bit. Let me feel that. I mean, it's, it doesn't feel like it's wet. It feels pretty, just need to make it a little bit darker, give it some more definition here. Make it match the other side better. It may just be where it wasn't even and it was pretty crumbly and I just left it dry. So what's coming off is probably just the crumbly pieces, and then what's underneath it is still kind of wet. So I think that's the problem. Even though I've waited more than a half an hour. Let's see. So let's get that piece, this little piece. Yeah, this right here feels still damp. Alright, where's my baby wipe? Let's see. So okay, so this is what we have so far. Doesn't look bad. So now I want to put, this is kind of, so this is my piece of brown paper bag. Wet it with just plain water and wrinkled it up a few times and spread it back out, straightened it out, let it dry. So I've got like a textured piece of paper, and then I've just covered it with white gesso. I played around with it a little bit and added some brown on the edges because I'm going to make this kind of a sort of like a door, and just put it, I put it somewhere around, maybe right, maybe like that. But I'm going to distress the edges a little bit with this ink. This is the sepia. Sepia is kind of reddish. Or actually, I think that's just my leftover, maybe partially some of my leftover oil pastel there, I'm not sure. So we're just distressing, I'm just distressing the edge just to make this stand out, the edge stand out from the background. And look, my fingerprint. I got an extra little touch there. A little fingerprint there. Nice. So, it's my gesso. I'm going to go over that with my gesso so I don't have a print. Just dip my finger in this gesso and just put it right there where my little fingerprint was. Okay. Now, let's see, I'm going to put it there. Not sure. I have a couple more pieces. So these are just little strips, and I think I will also put some gesso on these because they're also going to be part of sort of like a doorway here. Not exactly a traditional door, but this is, you know, this is multimedia. This is, you know, we're using what we have, and you got to use your imagination, right? And I'm just trying to make it not look like anything too particular, but give you just an idea of what, it's just a hint of what this is supposed to be. So there are those. And I'll wait for those to dry. I'm going to put my lid back on my gesso. And rinse out my brush. So while those are drying, I'm going to distress my other piece. Get this lid back on. Okay, so let's move these aside. And let's see, oh, here's my other piece. So this is my heart, made out of the brown paper bag. And we'll go ahead and distress the edges of this one. So the outside edge, and I'll distress the inside of the heart, or the edges of the heart as well. I really like that, how this has given it really frayed edge there. And then let's kind of do the inside of this, the inside edges of this heart, this cutout heart, so that it stands out. And I'm liking that. And I think, let's see where I want to put this. I'm going to put it somewhere around here. So I'm going to try to give it some balance here. And I may just put it right there. I just might leave it there. Let's see. I wonder if I want to maybe see, do I want to darken the edges even more? I can rub the pastel with my finger. So this is the oil pastel. We don't have to wet it. We can just, let's just do that and kind of rub it. Smoothing it with my finger. We're not making it perfectly smooth. This is pretty neat. It just kind of looks like a piece of cloth. So, do I want to... wondering if I should... I'm trying to think if I want to color behind this first with something else. I think I'll just leave it as it is. So if I do too much to it, I'm probably going to regret it. I'm going to overwork it. So I'm just going to take some Mod Podge. Since I know for sure that I want this right here, we'll take our Mod Podge and put some glue down. And hopefully this doesn't, let's see what this will do with the, stay down, stay down. Okay, let's do this. Let's flip this over and put some Mod Podge on the back of this thing. So I'm just putting Mod Podge on the back. Mod Podge on the back. And then we'll stick it down. I like the frayed. I really like that. Really, 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 really like that. So I have, in this process, learned that hand tearing paper bag, wrinkling it up, really gives a cool effect, and it does to me. Looks like fabric. That's so cute. So, so cute. Okay, so let me rinse my brush out. Wipe off my hands. And what else can we do with this? I have, if you've seen my Hobby Lobby clearance haul, and I only have one, and today's Sunday, so I can't go today because they're closed on Sunday, but I have the set of vintage keys and locks that I got from Hobby Lobby for like just pennies. And I think I'm going to put, so this is kind of like a door, and I'm going to use, I think, this square piece for this. Or do I do that one? I'll do the square piece. So I'm gonna just fill this off, maybe. Yeah. And we'll put this, see which way do I want to set it. Set it. Now, do I want to set it this way, or do I want it? I think I want it this way. So then I'm just going to put it right stick it right there. And I'll just kind of burnish it down with this card. Since this is pretty textured, make sure that stays. I really like that. I'm still not convinced about this brick, but it's still wet. I just don't know. Okay, and of course my computer goes to sleep, so hopefully we're still recording. Yes, it is. Oh, this is driving me crazy. Okay, so the only thing I don't like about this is the shine. I wonder if I can get that shine off of there. I think what I'll do, because I think this is just a little too shiny, it sticks out a little too much, so why don't we try to knock that back some with some gesso. Get my brush. And let's see if I can just add a little bit of gesso to the top of that and just see what this does. It's plastic, so it isn't doing so well with it. Perhaps maybe the ink would work better. I'm going to go ahead and let's see. Let's go ahead and where would I put this? I think I will just put that. I think I will. I'll just go ahead and put it right there. And let me get my brush. We'll Mod Podge the back of this. Just washing my brush off and taking the excess water off. And let's put some Mod Podge on the back of this. Put a pretty good amount on the back. And stick it right, I say right, right there, why not? And then Mod Podge over the top. And we're not going to worry about this brick right now. We'll deal with this. We shall deal with this later. Okay. So rinse off my brush and let's, I'm going to distress these little strips now. I think the blue and the sepia really works well together, and the white. So there's that one, and then I have one more piece right here. Just trying to do the edges. I'll definitely have to use this paper bag technique again for collage because it's so pretty. I am pretty impressed with it, guys. So let's bring this back down. And so what I was trying to do with these two is just kind of go like this. And what else? Go like that, or I could go this way. I actually like that, just the holes will be, these holes up here will be, just got to watch that so it's not too close to the holes. Where's my brush? All right, let me get my brush and we'll glue those down. So let me Mod Podge the back of these strips. That like that. And let's do the other one. I know I'm kind of off camera. All I'm doing is just putting Mod Podge on the back of this so I can put it down here. Put that right there. And then coat the top of it. Push that down. It even feels like fabric now. Okay. So far this is what we've got. And now what I want to do is stamp some words on here. And I'm going to use black for that. This may not be perfectly even. Don't worry about it. Some more baby wipes. Alright, so what I'm going to stamp, once I get all of the stuff off my fingers, So here's my set of block stamps, and I'm going to pick out my letters here. Let's see. Just testing this real quick. I'm just gonna put this right here. H. So there's no measuring, no lining up, no nothing. We're just kind of, I'm not caring if this is like perfectly lined up. I want it to be whimsical. Because everything else is whimsical, you know, the heart, the door, all of this. So it's a journal page. We're not worried about it. I like it kind of wacky like that. So all right, where's my eye? Here's my eye. It's my E. Let's see. I hope I spelled that right. It looks like it's spelled right, so alright, so there's happiness. And where's my L? Not a bad deal. I got this from the thrift store, and there's still plenty of life on this, in this thing. Alright, where's my E? So there's happiness lives, and we've got, I'm trying to see my letters. All right, so here's my sentiment. Happiness lives here, and I am going to take a key from this, and we will not glue. Let's do a good sized key. So I will put a key pointing in this direction. Burnish that down. And what else can we do, guys? I'm still not quite happy with, I think it needs some more color. So what can we do here? Let's see. And we've still got some Mod Podge. Let's see. We could add a little bit of green on the bottom. Kind of like some grass maybe. We could add some more. What else can I do here? Should I add some white to the brick? Or some darkness to the brick? Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna get some white paint. If I can find it. Okay, so here's my this is just an economy white paint acrylic, and it's pretty thin. Just put it on my parchment paper. It's probably a little much, but I think I want to take, and I'm going to use my little round brush, and I want to just add some white in between, like grout. In between my brick. And I still think I need some more color here somewhere, so we'll figure that out. And I'm not being really careful with it, we're just separating this out here. Just trying to get this to stand out. Do the same thing on this side. There's still some wetness here, but that's okay. That is fine. Not being too careful, we're just slapping this on. And hopefully this gives you guys ideas for your journal page. So I apologize if this is like too long for you guys. I like to just show you in real time, step by step, you know, how I do this and just my thinking process, and just learn with me as, you know, I just want you guys to learn with me and just follow along. And I appreciate all of you guys just supporting me and subscribing and just following along, and I hope that you guys really like this. And my computer just fell asleep again. Why? Okay, but it's still recording, so that's good. My gosh. I thought I changed the settings on this so that it wouldn't go to sleep until like 3 hours, but I just put an update on. There was the I think the High Sierra operating system that's been available for a while since spring, and I just now put that on. So I think I may have to go back and just check those settings again. So I think I'm liking that better. We're not trying to be professionally smooth here. We're just trying to put some color on. Then I can just kind of do this just to get rid of some of that harshness on the edge. Well, it's still kind of wet. This is just the damp baby wipe. And I still think I need some more color. So let's see. What shall we do? What shall we do? So here's what we have so far. I like it. It's not, you know, a whole lot to it, and I think so far so good. I think I would like to, let's see, is this the black? This is the black. I don't want the black right at the moment. I want my sepia. Where did my sepia go? Okay, where'd you go? Okay, right here. I'm gonna just do this. I just think it needs a little something else, so let's just add that to the edges. And I really like this color with this blue. And there goes my fingerprint. So again, not being too careful, we're just adding some interest on the edges, some distressing, just to tie this all in. Not trying to be too perfect. Well, of course, I still keep getting paint on my fingers, and for goodness sake. There. And then we've got some wet paint still on our parchment paper, which my sponge keeps picking up. It's all good. Okay. Okay. All right. So there is that, and here's how it's looking so far. I'm kind of liking it. Let's get a pen. I'm going to get a black pen. Let's see. Let's get this one is an 03. That one's the really skinny one. Let's get a little bigger size. That's the 08, so this one's a little bigger. What other colors do I have in here? Some paint markers. So red paint markers. Purple, no. I'm going to take this and just go around it with my ink pen and just do that. We're just going to let this stuff stick out, stand out a little bit more, just adding some black. And this is still kind of wet, so we'll be a little careful with this. Just adding a little bit of black ink. And I still think it needs more color. So what can I use? I'm going to use, let's see, what would go good with just one more color, but what? Let's see. Let's see, I've got this wrought iron. So this is kind of a grayish. And we'll just use our little round brush, and the wrought iron kind of looks grayish green type, kind of. And let's see. I'm just gonna sort of dry brush this on. A little bit of dry brushing. I'm busy. Hold on. Get with you in a minute. And then we'll do let's see. So this is just dry brushing. Sorry for the silence, but in deep concentration. And this is the journal page, my first journal page, and it's okay. I mean, I like some of the effects here. The colors I could probably do a little more with, but we're just gonna call it good here because I don't want to put you guys through a bunch of like going over and over. And I think if I just keep doing and keep going on, it's just going to it's gonna ruin it if I put too much on here. So I hope you guys like this. I think next thing I'm gonna do, I'll probably just do a series of like quick sketches of different people. But um, please, if you like this, like, share, and subscribe. And I appreciate you if you've already subscribed. And I thank you guys for watching. And um, leave some comments below if you'd like any suggestions. And like I said, uh, I'm sorry if this is kind of long for some of you guys, but I mean, I like for you guys to just see step-by-step process of how you can do different techniques, and I'm just learning this as I go. I mean, I'm more of a fine artist, and this multimedia stuff, this journaling, just slapping things on with no idea what I'm going to do is something new. So it's just a process for me to, and for all of us, just to play around with what we have and learn new techniques. So what I got from this is, I guess the best thing that I learned from this is the paper bag technique. I really, really like that. I really like the sepia around the edges and the white. So that would probably be my favorite part of this page. So again, thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will be back with something new. Thank you guys.